Oh, child. Hello. Okay, so welcome back. Darren's African Experiences. How are you doing? Okay. Streaming at night. Yeah, I relocated. I'm in a new house, obviously. This house lighting is way better. I actually just broke a second light. You would be seeing me like it's daytime. Crazy. I need another light, even bigger than this one. Yeah. So that I get more coverage. More light, more light. I've been on TikTok advertising my bags. That's why you see that background of bags. By the if you're in Uganda and you have someone you can buy a bag for, even if you're not in Uganda, please support me. I have very nice bags. Pure leather, yes. You know? I really do have nice bags, not even just bragging. So, what has been going on with me? Meanwhile, I do my job, my normal job is funded by USAID. Is it USAID? No, no, no. Is it USAID? Who funds who? Who funds who? PEPFAR funds USAID? Who funds? Okay, whoever funds that organization I work for. Yeah, we've been put on hold for work for 3 months. So, guys, I am currently unemployed, which means I'm spending most of my time creating content. Finally, you have won. Hi, Rose. How are you? Happy weekend. Good night. I know it's late there. I hope you're well. I hope you're okay. So, yeah, guys, I'm officially unemployed. It is imperative that everyone buys membership because I have no salary coming for the next 3 months, which means your girl has to hustle hard, extra hard. Oof. Wait. Oh, God. The only thing that is like an added advantage is that, well, I can now focus on my skills, which are quite many. I can focus on my small business, and I can now also, the problem with it is after I've settled and focused there, again, they're going to call us back to work. And again, now I have to put this life on hold to pick up the other one. Jesus Christ. Ah, my network in this place, it's jumping. So I was still telling you the only added advantage to employment is that you're guaranteed to be paid at the end of the month. Whereas in this world of content creation, I would be guaranteed to be paid every month, but you people don't like to buy membership on the channel, even as low as $2. You don't want. What am I supposed to do? So now I'm officially unemployed for 3 months as Trump decides whether he can continue. Because you have to understand, as much as the USAID or whatever money the World Health Organization gives to Africa, it does not only supply with the people that need it. It also employs people, lots of people. As I speak, I personally know over 400 people that are home without jobs right now. Personally, these are personal. And people that I don't know are so many because we have sister organizations, so many of them. So imagine my colleagues, teammates, 500 people are unemployed right now. It's not about Trump, it's about the declarations he has made. Obviously, you have to understand where he's coming from. He's trying to audit the people that actually receive this money. He's trying to understand if the investment or the help is worth it. So ideally, he's making cringy decisions, but this one is not as wild. Of course, the thing where he's trying to pass the law to take away birthrights, citizenship is wild. It is very wild. You know, it's very wild. What else? Even the deportation of people is wild because we understand the previous presidents have been deported. Oh, yes, every president has, but the other presidents were not deporting taxpayers and hardworking people. They were targeting mostly criminals, people who have a criminal record, where they are coming from or where they are. People who are involved in anything like that. They were not just mass deportations. There's a big difference. You can do mass deportations, but isolated deportations. That's why there was not a lot of panicking at all in those times, because the people that were going had not even been in the States for long. The people they were deporting were new in the States. Imagine someone been there their whole life, but just because they were born there, and then you're deporting them to where? Do you get what I mean? So those are wild. Obviously, pulling out of the World Health Organizations is also wild because the Americans also do benefit to an extent, because they wouldn't be there for so long if they didn't benefit. And you have to understand that most of the support that's provided to Africa, Africa welcomes it. A lot of Western countries have taken so much from Africa, like so much. This is the least they can do. Africa, of course, we have leaders to blame for most of Africa's problems, but then we also have concepts whereby the Western world is solely responsible for how the African president behave. You know, how they behave because they've supported them, they've given them ammunition, they've given them money, they've funded their campaigns wild. And as soon as they're in power, they become puppets to the Western world. We've seen this. So when they do actually behave the way they behave, they are aided. They are not just waking up in the morning. They have alliances with these people. They have hidden alliances. Like someone cracks on and makes a deal before they even come into power. Ideally, let me tell you, Africa is a very, very rich continent. Jokes aside, like every African country has a mineral, even if one. Every African country. Now, minerals are not necessarily gold or silver. The land, we have vast land. We have very, very virgin lands. We have aspects in our countries that if the governments invested in African people in those aspects, we would be rich, right? But as soon as they spot a mineral, they are trying so hard to push the locals out and bring Western people to excavate, to ruin and take at the expense of the people. So if up to this time, as a country, we are still begging for things like ARVs. Do you know how many people are on ARV drugs in Africa? And do you know that the biggest percentage of ARVs in Africa are given out for free and they are donated to African people? When Trump wakes up in the morning and pulls out an organization like PEPFAR, they are not just taking they are not just taking money, their money back. They are taking people's lives with them. A lot of people, let me give you an example. I've worked with in the medical world for some time. Yes, my expertise go far and wide. Let me give you, when someone has an HIV virus, remember we have two concepts. We have HIV, we have AIDS. HIV can be controlled and managed and you can live for the rest of your life 100%. But the moment you stop having HIV and you now have AIDS, you're going to die. It's the ugly truth. So these drugs are given out, retain you to only have the virus, not the disease itself. Because it's the disease that kills. It is AIDS that kills, but HIV does not kill. Have you gotten the difference? So when someone has made you dependent, your entire life depends on what they are giving you. That person has the right, they have the power to kill you, and they have the power to keep you alive. The biggest percentage for all the months and years I spent working in different hospitals, the people that were coming to collect these drugs are not rich people. They are not. These are no people, right? These are middle class people. I don't want to use the word poor. They're just normal people, regular people. These people can barely afford transportation to come and pick the medication. So imagine the government, the different governments in Africa know this. They have not yet devised a mechanism or a way of that situation. Let me tell you, you can rely on foreign aid for things like road constructions, things like that, that kind of development. But when it comes to someone's life, as a government, I would assume you should make it urgent for you to secure funds and you take care of your own people when life is involved. We are still, in Africa, we are still getting donations for malaria drugs. Malaria, something that has been there for ages, something that I don't know how to put it. And we're not even getting the best malaria tablets. Imagine that. We're still getting the yellow ones that were produced years ago. The ones that stink, that make you even sick. And the governments are not even thinking things like this, you know? We are still getting donations for mosquito nets. Nets, you people. It is okay to get help, but if a government can afford to have its people, its so-called leaders, live highly luxurious lives, get paid humongously at the expense of the taxpayer, there are things you can do. There are things we can do. There are things we can do. The time, imagine one human being has made a decision that highly impacts and affects people's lives who cannot even afford this shit on a whole different level. One person is in the United States of America, makes a decision that affects over 50 African countries. And individual people in those countries are over millions and billions of people. So what happens is, or what's going to happen is this. Even if he lifts his questioning, because you can still get your audits while the systems are still running, okay? And then as the systems are running, you can limit. You can say, okay, where is the money going? Okay, but let the people continue getting these services. You have to understand that 3 months is a very long time. There are people, the whole concept, let me give you the concept of PEPFAR, because we have different organizations that do different things. The different organizations, let's give you an example, that were giving people malaria tablets, malaria medication for free in these different locations. As soon as they closed off last week, right? I can tell you there are over 100 people that have died of malaria as I speak. And these people are not dying because there is no medication, but because they've closed up the facilities that were giving them this medication and they can't afford it. This is malaria. I'm giving you different examples. There are mothers that were scheduled for immunizations of their children. See, let me tell you, it is okay for someone to say, I'm taking my funding back. But do these things gradually, be gradual. Don't just up and do something. A lot of people's lives have been affected by this. Like so many people, you might find the biggest percentage of people, let me speak for my country, the biggest percentage of Ugandans that have jobs and earn a decent, not even a decent, a small pay, but at least it's livable, like less than a wage, way less, are working for NGOs. They're not working for government organizations. They are working with government organizations, but for NGOs. Because what happens is NGOs, or rather donors, stopped giving money to individual NGOs. They don't. When you see a person, an NGO, and they are getting donors, most of the time, these are people you know, or they've used a government official and to co-sign as ownership of that NGO. It is not the way it used to be. So you will find that an NGO is working alongside a government organization. So because they trust government organizations more than they trust these individuals, the justification to that. Now, when you are rolling out orders, be gradual, not like as if, come on, these are people's lives. These are people's lives. Now, back to the issue of the HIV drugs. Every single organization, every single hospital in Uganda, I'm using Uganda because I understand the Ugandan system. Every single organization in Uganda that has been distributing ARVs has been stopped. All of them. You have to understand, people who are on ARVs, right? They have schedules, like times and schedules. Every single day, there are people scheduled to collect medications. So, if 3 months go by and they are not operational, and at this point, even if you hide in a corner and distribute, you're not going to give everyone. Because most people, when they hear news, they panic. They don't understand what's going on, so they will hesitate. If these people, it's for their own good, but you have to understand the process that goes into them taking this medication. One of the reasons why it's imperative for someone on ARVs to take their medication is to limit how the amount of spreading. What is going to happen in these 3 months? Four things. One, most people who only had HIV will probably have AIDS as well. Yeah. They will have advanced signs of HIV, which will mean they will be diagnosed with AIDS. Most of the time, when the symptoms are extreme, there is no turning back. It's the ugly truth. One of the symptoms is tuberculosis. When you have TB is you spread it through air. Whether you have HIV or you don't have HIV, if you are with someone who has TB and you're in close contact with them, you will get TB. You'll get it. So now you can't even afford TB drugs. You know where they are sold. Hey, this is bad. By the way, this is bad. If you're looking at it from a medical perspective, it's really bad. There are some decisions that no one should make abruptly like that. Nobody. Because these people already audit these people. Like, they are leading organizations, like you said, audit their people on ground. PEPFAR audits their people. Is it NATO? Who else is there? They audit their people. Okay, you as the president of the US is supposed to reach out to those people, and then those people will reach out to their people, and then you will all sit together and then audit yourselves. You don't just say halt, nothing moves. Like, yo, if these people have to endure things, how about the people in the States? Because you have to understand, a lot of things are happening so quickly, and everything is like like the world is ending. Like, if he doesn't make a decision now, it's not going to work. Like, who is advising Trump? Your policies would work best if you actually did them gradually and make more research. You can't just make decisions on impact. Like, I think he just wakes up, he's like, I did have a bad dream last night. Maybe it's the black people. The black people, they're witching me. And then he's like, I declare there are no equal rights between in workplaces, like now, this thing is actually real. So black people are no longer protected in workplaces. It was already hard to have them hired. Now imagine what they're going to deal with. Because I strongly believe the biggest employers are white people in the US, if I'm not mistaken. They're whites. They are the biggest employer, the biggest percentage of employers. One of the reasons why that is because most of them hold generational wealth. They just keep inheriting things, and those that don't inherit are just awarded things. Some of them on merit, but ideally being white puts you in an upper position. Hey, it's not easy. It's not. It's not. It can't be easy now, and it's just going to get harder. Imagine this is the first week. Is it the first week in power? It's crazy. That's crazy, you know. And then look at the nature thing. Is it the thing where he is it the French what? What is that organization for weather, protecting the weather? The whole point, I think, for that organization was because we are headed towards our impending doom in global warming. I don't know if Africa is part of that global warming, but it should be. When I was growing up, this country was not like this. The weathers were not like this. Everything changed. It has changed. I'm a farmer, and back in the day, we even had a calendar when you're growing up. You knew for sure this month is for rain. We even had names, specific names for different months, by September you have to be harvesting. Even the name of September in my local language means harvesting. So we knew these things were specific. Now, if my ancestors came back to life and looked at the weather, they would be perplexed. Things have changed. So maybe that's also one of the effects of global warming, right? I'm telling you, the ugly truth is, if he has left, it means he wants to drill, he wants to excavate wherever he pleases. Because one of the reasons why you join some of these organizations is to have someone check your powers. Like if you have too many or too much power and your decisions can affect the world, right? Someone has to check you. Someone has to check you and they're like, yo, represent Africa. Hi, Maya. So when Trump is leaving all these organizations, it's not because, oh, he's leaving because he wants. No. He's leaving because he does not want to be checked. Like most of the things and decisions he's making and doing are being checked. You are not under a body that can check your power, like a vigilante. No one can tell a vigilante what to do. I mean, really, who? Now the problem is going to be for Americans. I've actually been doing way too much research. I've been doing way too much research. The problem for Americans now to be like this. The rich are going to become even richer, and they're going to be too rich. There is an English word for that. And the poor are going to become too poor. You know how you've been broke, but your paycheck could pay your small bills, and then you keep going back in circles, going back in the same situations, just going round and round, no resting for you. Your credits are just killing. Everything is you're just living. You're living just to live. You're actually not living. You're just existing. You're just stuck in a system that cannot recognize you and your efforts towards it, but it wants the little you have. So there are solutions to this, but most of you, my American friends, don't hear these things. You don't. But also, it's not a matter of you don't want. I found out last week that Americans are not allowed to leave America. If you leave, you continue getting taxed, some kind of tax from the IRS, even if you leave. So the moment you hold an American passport or American citizenship, you are supposed to pay a certain tax to the IRS for the rest of your life. Even if you chose to abandon, the moment you step back in like this, I was like, what the hell? So even if you denounce your citizenship or residency, they will charge you. Ah, I think sometimes when I'm upset with my country, I think I speak out of ignorance. And I think a lot of us speak out of ignorance. We don't know how other people have it. And the problem is most Americans don't know they have a problem because they have no experiences of other countries. And also have been taught and told that America is the land of the dreams, like everyone wants to be there. It's the dreamland for everyone, the final destination. Nothing is better than that. That now that they're realizing a lot is better, they're panicking. You know, someone has you entrapped. These things they are telling you that, oh, you're spending, you're poor, you have so many what are they called, homeless people, and your money is less, is because of the much aid they are saying. No, 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 no. You should check your own leaders, you know. Check how much money they are spending on in the military, on ammunition, you know, buying unnecessary war machines and shit like that. That's where the money is truly going. The money is not going to Africa. The money is not helping the poor. The money is really not. When you look at the percentages, just one of your richest people can clear the money that they are sending out to Africa, and they will not feel pain. It's the truth, you know. I mean, Elon could literally cover that money without breaking a sweat. So you're all paying way too many taxes. Where is the money going? America has no choice. They have to continue paying these things because they have situated themselves as better than everyone, right? When you situate yourself as better than everyone, and some of these countries are actually filled with smart people, they let you be better than them, but they know you're not. They know you're not. So they let you believe as long as they're benefiting from you and truly benefiting from them. So obviously now you, Trump waking up and realizing that why is China paying 30 million and we're paying 500? It's because that's the position you took. You took yourself as, how do you call yourselves? You know, you put yourself to be above. You cannot be better than everyone else and you're paying what they're paying. Just like, let me give you an example. If I walked to a party and someone is being called the Don, the man of the party, I'm not expected to sit on the same table with him. But if I happen to sit on the same table with him, I'm not buying the most expensive drink on that table. I'm sitting back and waiting for him to buy the most expensive bottle on the table. Then I come in later with a tip to the waitress. Like, yo, here, you know, or I'll buy the cheapest thing because I've not situated myself to be the richest person on the table. I don't know how lucky I got to get on this table. So that's the thing. When you go to the World Health Organizations and you want to call all the shots, because believe it or not, the Americans decide, I think they chose to pay that much money because they have, it's like buying shares in an organization. When you buy shares, okay, you get to make so many decisions, you know, you get to be like the boss, you know, they can't do things without your knowledge. Hey, you're important. So I believe America has been situated like that, and it is some of these things that they've been part of that have made them to come out and look like the biggest and the best country. But we both know the British have a better currency, you know, but why is it that their currency is trending like that? So America has paid a price for what they are, and if they want to continue being that person, they have to continue paying price, you know. But if they're tired, then of course someone else is going to step on the table and take their place. Sure, best believe me, a lot of countries are best willing because they know how that represents the country and what the benefits, you know. They've been benefiting. It's not that they've just been giving and giving and they're getting nothing. Hell no. They've been getting a lot, obviously at the expense of their citizens. But yeah, the narrative is changing. Now, what was I coming here to rant about? Why do I keep ranting like this? You know, Obama made a speech a while ago about Trump, you know, saying how all the ugliness will touch all of us if he ever comes back to power. Yeah, the ugliness is touching all of us. And this is the thing. The people who are all for MAGA, MAGA is Make America Great Again. Do you not understand that all these decisions are affecting you too? Like, I don't understand. And most of them are now realizing that the decisions their president that they voted for is making are affecting them. And they are shocked. They are shocked. You know, they are shocked. Some of them, this is what people don't understand. Getting papers, like getting citizenship in the US, it's not that simple. It's not that easy. There is a whole process that takes years and a lot of money. A lot of money, if I might add. So if someone is new to a country, they don't have that kind of money most of the time. Just to get into the US, the amount of money that is spent is insane. You know, so these people, most of them do have families. They get in there, they're now try to recover financially what they spent to get in there, because getting visa alone is like a whole tug of war, right? Financial. And then you get in the visa, you're paying a hefty ticket, and then you're in the country. In the country, remember, you're not allowed to work, especially a fresh, depending on your visa, right? But most of them are going there as tourists, so you're not allowed to work. Okay, so if you're not allowed to work, how are you going to make the money to start now pursuing for your citizenship, taking care of the very expensive cost of living they have, and then taking care of the people you've left home? So honestly, you realize that your visa is still on, you still have time, so you just keep pushing. And it's not easy. There is this, so all of you that are shouting, why are they aliens? Like, why don't they have city? It's not that simple. It's not. If it was simple, all these people wouldn't be living. You think they left and came there when they didn't want to be there? They wanted, but it's not simple. There are so many challenges, and most of those are heavy taxpayers, because all they do is work. You know, all they do is work. But how are you going to work and make enough money when you don't even have the right papers? Which means if you're undocumented, you don't have the right papers, very small jobs that can barely pay you. You're working so hard, earning so little. How are you going to even afford to get papers? You know, so people are caught up in a loop like that. They are working hard, paying taxes, but they can't get proper jobs because they can only be paid under the table, right? By those people that don't care whether you have citizenship or not. And most of those jobs, your labor jobs, they don't, you get what I'm saying, okay? You can't even afford to go back to school, better your education in there. Because again, you have to pay a lot of money for school too, a whole lot of money. Uganda. Well, nothing is easy. And for me, I don't understand why a whole government cannot analyze these situations and look at them the way they are, not the way they want them to see these situations and these people. There is a lot more to people. You know, it's make certain decisions just like that. All this affects a lot of people. I can only imagine, you know, the people that's been there for so many years and even started families, and now they've gone back. Do you know how hard it is to be back in a country where you haven't been in a long time? You don't start. Sometimes you don't even have money, because this is abrupt. They don't have money set up. Some of them don't even have where to start. Anyway, I'm done. I don't know why I came on there. Maybe I came to show you that I can go live at night now. But please buy membership. Membership is as low as $2. Please buy membership. I am unemployed and broke. I need to make money off my content. I'm going back shooting probably next week by Monday, Tuesday. I'll be pushing out content. I have time. I have no excuses, but I have no money. In my country, it's coming to 9 p.m. Let me go, shower, ready to get some rest. Yeah. It was nice talking to all of you. I don't know. I don't think I've said a lot of sense. I've made my points. Night. Good night.